Welcome back to another edition of Quinte Connection as we continue to get a roundup of the Quinte area and seeing how everyone is doing during the pandemic. Joining us is Major Arthi Prabhakaran from the Canadian Armed Forces based at 8 Wing Trenton as we continue to kind of see what's happening there. So Major, what can you tell us about things over there?
Thanks for having me, Lindsay. We've just kicked off our campaign for the Government of Canada Workplace Charitable Campaign. So we're very busy spooling up some events and raising some funds over here during this bizarre time.
Could you walk us through what the campaign's role is?
For sure. So each base has a local campaign that contributes to the overall national campaign. So here in CFB Trenton, so Canadian Forces Base Trenton, we support the United Way, Hastings and Prince Edward, as well as some local health partners. So all of the funds that we raise here go towards those local community organizations.
And Major, I'm glad you brought up the United Way because we saw earlier in the year about the golf tournament and exceeding the goal. Could you walk us through that and that partnership?
Yeah, so the Wing Commanders golf tournament took place a few weeks ago, and we were blown away by all of the fantastic support that we received from the community for that event. It's usually our kickoff event for the campaign season. So this year, we don't have the final numbers yet, but we're looking at upwards of $50,000 towards our donation total, which is amazing. To give you some context, last year it was around $30,000, which is what we took towards our donation. So we're very, very happy with the turnout and the support for that event this year.
As a CoChair, what does your job entail this year?
So I'm very lucky. I work with my fellow co-chair for the base, Master Warrant Officer Derek Gauthier. So the two of us lead a fantastic team of volunteer organizers from the base, made up of both military members and civilian D&D employees. And we help organize events for the base, and we also collaborate with the United Way, Hastings and Prince Edward cabinet for this year as well. So it's a very dynamic role, but it's very exciting, and we have a lot of fantastic volunteers that help us with it.
How did your journey start in the forces?
So I joined the military back in 2007. I followed the footsteps of my older brother, and we both went to the Royal Military College of Canada.
And how long have you been in Trenton?
I've been in Trenton since 2017.
All right. So what's next for the campaign going forward, especially during the pandemic, as we all kind of shift more virtually?
It's a great question, Lindsay. So this year's been especially challenging for us as the organizers because we've really had to pivot a lot of our ideas that we typically do in a campaign year. Events are generally a huge moneymaker for us, and this year with all the public health measures in place, we've really had to get creative with our campaigning. We're relying a lot more this year on pledges and donations from individuals and organizations. And we're also trying to take some of our events and turn them into virtual events or events that can be safely conducted with all of the public health measures that we have in place.
How many events would you normally have aside from this, unexpected year?
It's tough to say. It really changes from year to year depending on how many volunteers we get. All of our events that we do on the base are run by a volunteer from the base, and then the executive committee supports that volunteer with the organization and execution of the event.
Where does the money go?
So all of the money that's collected on behalf of CFB Trenton goes towards United Way, Hastings and Prince Edward, and local health partners. But we do give members the option when they submit a pledge form, if they have a specific organization that they would like their donation to go towards, they're able to make that call at that point.
What's the theme for the campaign this year?
So this year, Lindsay, our theme is local love in a global crisis. It's a theme that speaks to the heart of what we're experiencing right now with COVID-19 as a community, but also, globally. And CFB Trenton feels extremely lucky to be in a position to support our community. We've had incredible community support over the years, so being in a position to be able to give back to that community really means a lot to us on the base.
All right, Major, thank you so much for joining us and wishing you and your colleagues well, but more importantly, thanks for keeping us safe on a daily basis. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Lindsay.